Yo, what is going on today, YouTube? Today we are going to be showing you how to bleed your brakes. Let's take a look. First, we are going to be starting to drain that master cylinder there.
The reservoir.
The reservoir. We have a little contraption there. What do you call it?
I don't know.
A vacuum pump and brake bleeder kit. So that was picked up at Princess Auto. First, we're going to start by removing the filter in the brake cylinder.
Yeah, stick the tube in the reservoir. Make sure it's clean. You don't want to contaminate it. And start pumping.
Yeah. It's working quite good, wow.
There's usually different chambers, so you gotta kind of take a bit out of each.
When you get your reservoir cleaned of brake fluid, we are going to be moving on to the brake calipers next. Today we're going to be using .3 OEM brake fluid, Super .3. The one thing you want to kind of take a look at is what it's rated for. So this one's rated for 260 degrees Celsius or 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the boiling point that this brake fluid boils at, right? So the higher performance you go, the more expensive it's obviously going to get. I think this is probably a pretty good medium. Nothing crazy expensive, but somewhere in the middle. Next, we're going to be removing the tires using a 21mm deep socket, and I recommend a breaker bar. We're going to start bleeding the brakes from the back, furthest away from the master cylinder, and then get closer as we go up. Another thing, make sure not to spill any brake fluid on any of your paint on your car, because it will eat away at the clear coat and paint, which is not good, not what you want it to do. If you have an impact gun, highly recommend it. Makes the job a lot quicker. That's it? You got them all off?
Multi-purpose.
Pretty cool. That's what we got for brakes. Okay, so we got the tire off. Here's the rear brake caliper, and here's the nipple in the back. Just a little cover on it. So remove that, and then we're going to be attaching the hose right onto that nipple there. Once you got the hose secured to the nipple, take your 10mm wrench and start to undo that bolt.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. You don't have to pull it off or anything like that. Just enough to open it up. And then begin to pump. Got a tight seal there or what? So the problem that me and Matt ran into here is the nipple on the back of the caliper is a little bit too small, and it doesn't work with the attachments that we have. So we're gonna have to just do it the old-fashioned way, which is one person in the vehicle and one person basically opens and shuts this as the person inside the vehicle just pumps on the brakes. So I'm inside the vehicle right now, and all I'm gonna be doing is stepping on the brake pedal or stepping off the brake pedal. That easy. And while Matt's outside there, he's basically gonna be opening that little nipple valve and closing it just to get the air and the fluid all out of the system.
On.
On.
Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Off.
Off.
On. Off. On. Off. On. Off. On.
Pro tip, when bleeding your brakes, make sure your brake reservoir does not go to empty, otherwise you guys will be starting from square one again and have to re-bleed the system of air. We repeated the steps that we showed you in the first one. That's where we started in the back. That would be 1, and then 2, 3, and then this one we'll be doing last over there. So that'll be the 4th one. We're gonna do the fronts and we'll show you. It's basically gonna be the exact same as the backs as far as the bleeding process goes. While we have the tires off, we're inspecting the brakes. These ones are very rusty. It's been sitting for quite a few years. The pads in the front look pretty good. You can kind of see, compared to the back, the pad thickness is quite a bit better, and it doesn't have too much of a groove on here. It's pretty flush compared to the back. Looks a little bit more worn than that. So I think while we wait on some brake pads and possibly new rotors for the back, we're probably just going to run with these, see what happens after a couple hard brakes or a couple hard passes, and see if it kind of cleans them up. Other than that, I don't think there's really too much else we can maybe do. Okay, so on this one we ended up getting the gun working because the nipple on it was quite a bit bigger. So all we're going to do here is just pump it up, pressurize this, and this little container should fill with brake fluid.
Just watch the line and wait until it turns clear. And now you can see it's quite nasty.
Like, it's tough to tell in there, but this brake fluid is just like, it's cloudy. Like, it doesn't even look like brake fluid. I wouldn't be surprised if this has never been changed in the car's entire life. Maybe?
Maybe.
Like, that looks like brown sludge. Brake fluid should be almost like a clear color. I guess I should just keep pumping, hey? Just ended up taking this out of the brake fluid, and that's what the old stuff looked like. There's just a smidge of the new fluid on top, which you can see. But yeah, the rest at the bottom there, that's how the brake fluid looks. And let me just show you what actual clean brake fluid should look like right over here. Basically clear in color compared to this. Kind of a little tough to tell maybe on camera, but that is not what brake fluid should look like. Now that we finished all 4 corners of the vehicle, as far as the bleeding goes, there was something on the forums about bleeding your ABS. This is more specific just to the GTR here, and this is going to be your ABS sensor module.
ABS unit.
Yeah. So that's your ABS unit right there, and I guess we're supposed to bleed that as well, so that's what we're going to do here. Same kind of thing, attach your hose to the nipple, crack the nipple a little bit open, make sure you have a tight seal, and just pressurize your pump. Not sure if you guys can see that or not, but fluid is coming out of the hose and it's filling up that little reservoir there.
And it's clean.
And it's looking pretty clean, so I think we're probably good for these ones here. Tighten it back up once you're done, and remove the hose. And that's it. There's one more other nipple that we're gonna do on here, and then that takes care of bleeding the brakes. So I think that's pretty much a wrap, guys. We will be probably doing some brakes at a future point in time here, but for now all we're gonna do is bleeding the brakes because the fluid was nasty. So hopefully you guys found that was helpful, or that kind of entertained you a little bit. Took us probably about an hour to do the brakes-ish. A couple beers in between. So stay tuned, keep watching, like if you like this video, and please subscribe down below. Peace.